It's Wednesday, June 26th. Bob Price on Canada's Business Beat. And we begin with new reason to worry for anyone with a WestJet flight coming up in the next few days. Canada's second largest airline expected to announce flight cancellations again after being hit with another strike notice from airplane mechanics, threatening to walk out now as early as Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. Oh, but here's some far better news. Construction is on the way next for not just Canada's, but in fact the world's first Indigenous-owned LNG project. A final green light for the so-called Cedar LNG venture in Kitimat, BC, to be owned by the Haisla First Nation and Pembina Pipeline. The $5.5 billion floating facility expected to produce around 3.3 million tons of liquefied natural gas annually once it begins operating in 2028. Thank you for choosing one of Canada's most listened to business podcasts, updated Monday through Friday and heard around the world on X and wherever you get your favorite podcast. Canada's Business Beat. The more you listen, the more you know in only 2 minutes. We have a must-know consumer alert to share, a transmission issue behind the recall of some 95,000 2014 Ford F-150 pickups. Several reports of those trucks suddenly gearing down to first, no matter how fast it's going. Here's one you don't hear too often, a sizable fourth quarter profit decline for convenience store giant Couche-Tard, down by nearly a third to $453 million from $671 million a year ago, a lower gross margin on fuel among the reasons. Not the best news coming from the tourism sector, with StatsCan reporting a slowdown in first quarter tourism-related spending across the country, up by 1.8% after a 2.4% lift in the final quarter of last year. Employment only up by 0.9% after a 1.3% gain in the previous 3 months. And sports and business crossing paths in BC, where Vancouver Canucks owner Francesco Aquilini has just made a pitch to buy the Western Hockey League's Prince George Cougars in order to move the team to Chilliwack. And that will do it for your Wednesday. Thank you for listening. Bob Price on Canada's Business Beat.